Hi, my name is Connor Mead, and I'm here today at the 2016 Canadian Science Policy Conference with Dr. Grant Pierce, who is the Executive Director of Research at St. Boniface Hospital and a professor at the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg. So Dr. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So to get us started off, I wonder if you could tell us what are some of the unique challenges of conducting research in the health research ecosystem?
Some of the unique challenges, obviously, the major one is finding the funding to support research. That's the biggest challenge these days. Very difficult. And of course, to handle the new regulatory and ethical safety regulations that are now in place is very difficult. To ensure that you've got a productive program. You've got to do it ethically correct, you've got to do it with safety in mind, and you got to be productive. And you have very little money to do it. That's a pretty big challenge.
So why do you think that so much health research doesn't have the necessary funding in order to deliver results?
That's a good question too. I think partially it's because the public is not aware of the value of the research. And I think we have to get out there and tell the public what we're doing, what the results are. Too many scientists are in their laboratories, and rightly so, they're focused on the research. They've been trained to do research. That's their expertise. It's not getting in front of the public. But unfortunately, the public has to know what you're doing. You're not going to give money to a research project, donate to a research foundation, unless you're aware of what they're doing and appreciate what they're doing. And I think we have to get out there and educate the public on what we are doing and what advances we are making. And also how difficult it is to make those advances. They don't occur overnight. Everybody's got to be patient.
So what do you think are some solutions to communicating and advocating for health research when you have such long time lags where results are not easily observed for often decades?
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, though, you've got a large number of researchers who are at various stages of their research. For example, at our institute at St. Boniface Hospital, everybody is finishing a project at a different time. So all those opportunities are available over time, each day, each week, each month. Somebody is finishing a project, somebody is starting another project. Every one of those stages of research provide opportunities for us to go to the public, tell them what we're doing, what's the excitement of things coming up, and what's the excitement of things that we've just produced. So I think, again, it's a matter of organizing those announcements and those discussions. And also being realistic and honest with the public when things aren't going well and when a project doesn't work out the way it's expected to. That's okay to tell the public that too. Gives them an idea of how difficult it is. As I was told by an old professor at UCLA many years ago, if it was easy, we would have done it years ago. It ain't easy anymore. It's more and more difficult. The problems that we have are more complex. The instruments that we use are more expensive and more complex, and so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But science today is exciting. It's one of the most exciting times. You're going to see some amazing advances over the next 10, 20 years. You're going to see some amazing challenges as well with regard to health, but I think they're going to be exciting times.
What do you think are some of the specific developments or areas that we should keep an eye on in terms of life extension, anti-aging, and health research?
So two areas. One area certainly that is a major challenge for us today is multi-drug resistance to antibiotics. And the fact that bacteria are going to have huge impact on our health. World Health Organization has identified it as one of the three greatest threats to mankind, the life of mankind today. Means we've got to find new targets. We have to find new drugs. We have to find new ways to handle antibiotic resistance and these bacteria that could be life-threatening if you scrape your knee. That's a major problem. Secondly, I think you're going to see some major advances in stem cell research. I know we've had a much slower progress there than expected, but you're going to see some huge advances there, some ethical dilemmas that go along with that. But it's going to be exciting, and it's going to stretch the boundaries of science.
Fantastic. So my last question before we wrap up, for our viewers at home, where can we go online to learn more about the great work you're doing at St. Boniface?
We're at www.sbrc.ca. SBRC, St. Boniface Research Center. So www.sbrc.ca. We have actually quite a bit of information on there, and little vignettes on Research Was Here that have vignettes on each researcher and their personal history and their personal lives, as well as the science that they're doing, to give you a bit of a flavor of what it's like to be a scientist.
Fantastic. All right, Dr. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.